Results of our experiments at the Jagiellonian University, published in eLife, will tear up the textbook view of how the brain is divided to process information from different senses. Like someone who has lost their sight or hearing, we are all able to retune our senses if we put the work in. It is known that the brain can reorganize after injury or as a result of massive sensory deprivation, such as blindness. The visual cortex of the blind is underused, so it adapts to other tasks, such as reading Braille. There has been speculation that such plasticity is perhaps possible in normal sighted people, but definitive evidence has been lacking. The textbooks tell us that the visual cortex processes visual tasks, while the tactile cortex, called the somatosensory cortex, processes tactile tasks. Over 9 months of intensive training, we taught 29 sighted volunteers to read Braille while blindfolded. Using an MRI scanner, we analyzed their brain activity before and after their 9 months of learning Braille.
I'm passing Braille sheets to the volunteer. We do a reading experiment divided into 2 key parts. During the first part, we scan her brain while she reads Braille to reveal which parts of the brain are activated. In the second part, we temporarily suppress the activity of the visual cortex using a technique called transcranial magnetic stimulation. This impaired the volunteer's ability to read Braille, confirming the important role of the visual cortex in learning to read by touch.
This is the visual cortex, and this is the tactile cortex. At the beginning of the experiment, you can see that neither of them is activated by touching Braille. At the end of the experiment, we rescan our volunteers, and what happened is that the visual cortex is activated for touching Braille and not the tactile cortex. The change that was thought to be possible only in the blind can happen in the sighted as well. This shows that the brain is much more flexible than we thought. Given a complex enough task and long enough to learn it, we can all bend different sections of our brain to our will. Learning to read Braille or play a musical instrument are both notoriously difficult. Our volunteers are the first group of sighted people ever that have managed to learn to read Braille.
I've been learning for 9 months and I'm up to 13 words per minute. The average visual reading speed is 200 words per minute.
We can spur sections of our brain into action and form new connections between them. We are all capable of retuning our brains.